Yo, what's going on, man? I'm just looking at myself on the camera. I'm brown as I don't know what, dog. I done got a nice little tan, but I'm back off vacation, man. This is the ChrisBeCappinn show, live on Twitter, live on YouTube as well. As you guys join, do me a favor and hit the like button for me, especially if you guys have been listening in on the show and cashing plays from the show and specifically from myself as well. Before I had the little hiatus, but it was a nice break, man. I'm back off vacation and I'm back to trying to cash some tickets as I fix my mic. Trying to cash some tickets and win some money, man. I know we don't have a lot of time left. Not interested in giving away money to the books. It's a lot of different things that we got to take into consideration for a day like today. We only got one more day. I think it is tomorrow, the last day before the actual All-Star break starts on Friday. So I think the Bulls are the only team I think that are playing on the first leg of a back-to-back tonight. But a lot of these teams are thinking about Cancun, they thinking about Paris, they thinking about France, because they want that getaway, they want that break, they want that vacation. So you're not going to work as hard on your 9 to 5 the same way that they may check out a little early, and that makes it hard when you're gambling on these different teams in these different spots. So I prefer, I would advise everyone to go a little bit lighter today than they have been recently, and only take the things that you absolutely love today is what I recommend. Kind of pocket some of the things that you were thinking about playing if you don't absolutely love them. Also, I think if you want to play everything that you absolutely love, then maybe you just take a flyer and you play it for smaller unit size as well. The goal is to always be profitable, man. We're trying to take money from the books and not give it back all the time. We were on a nice little streak before I left. I think my internet went out. My power had flashed last Tuesday during the last show that I did before I left to go on vacation, while Lion Slayer was actually talking during that show. So my apologies for that. But let's get into it for today, man. It's a lot of games on the board today. Full transparency, I don't have a lot of plays. I'm not looking to overindulge in the market tonight. I think I'm now that we have the data that we have and the trades have been made. We got to kind of figure these teams out. The earlier you can figure the teams out, the better, because then you can kind of jump ahead of the market. So I think that's important to mention as well. But the goal is the cash, man. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Get into some of the games that we have today. And like I said, I don't have a lot. I didn't break all these games down in the full detail. Pretty busy day for me. I did do a morning show. Probably do another one tomorrow, and that'll be the last one until after the All-Star break, of course, next week. So let's jump into it, man. We got a lot of stuff to discuss. I won't take up all the time because I feel like there may be people who have better looks than me today, just because I don't have a lot. So I just want to make sure I have the live eye screen up as I always do before I get started. Also want to make sure I'm reading through the latest injury news. I did post one play that I absolutely in love with earlier, which was the under in the San Antonio Spurs in the who the San Antonio Spurs playing, the Charlotte Hornets game. I really do love that under. It was at 240, 3.5, and then the news did just come out about Terry Rozier being downgraded to questionable with a wrist injury. So if he doesn't play it, of course you like it a lot more. But that total has already started to shift. I think the total's down to 242, and I'll go over that play and why I'm looking at that angle specifically in that game. So let me just make sure I got I got all the live odds up, because I know it was a lot. It's a lot going on today in the NBA. Another reason why I like to make sure I got all my everything kind of checked off my list before I make plays official. So real quickly, we do have we got Daniel Tice. He's listed as out for today. Miles Turner is back, and he's playing. I know he missed. I think he missed the last few games for the Pacers. He's going to play in that game today as of 5 minutes ago against the Chicago Bulls, and we'll get into that. We also got. I talked about. Oh, I said Rozier is questionable. He's actually listed as doubtful now with that hand injury, and I talked about that one on the morning show earlier. Man, I'm not laying points with the Charlotte Hornets. Not for them to win by multiple possessions. That just sounds crazy, even if it is against the San Antonio Spurs. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that game in a second. Kyle Anderson also listed as questionable. That's for tomorrow. Rudy Gobert tomorrow. And then we got Cedi Osman, a game time decision as well with a neck injury. against the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Tim Hardaway Jr. ruled out for that game tonight. Reggie Bullock also listed as probable with an illness. Think he's going to play. Kyrie probable as well. Robert Williams questionable. If I had to guess, I would say Robert Williams probably doesn't play because he did play in the game last night. He didn't play big minutes, so maybe they were kind of saving him for Coach Mazzulla was saving him for tonight. He only played 24 minutes, and I know Mazzulla was kind of questioned about why Robert Williams didn't play more minutes, and Mazzulla he didn't really want to give a detailed response yesterday. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I know that the Celtics do get a lot of their guys back. Mike Muscala is ruled out for injury management. He's fine, but the Celtics did go to overtime last night with the Milwaukee Bucks. Now they're on they're on a road home back-to-back against the Detroit Pistons. So we'll talk a little bit about that game as well. Dennis Smith Jr. will start if Terry Rozier is ruled out. We just got that information. Al Horford is projected to play in this game. He did miss the first end of a back-to-back yesterday against the Bucks, and I think he's going to play because he typically doesn't play in both games. Marcus Smart also listed to make his return. This is an upgrade because I talked about this last week. He was projected not to play in this game. He was projected not to play until after the All-Star break. So it's interesting that he's coming back. Also, Derek White, he's listed as probable with the ear. I don't know if people saw that late in the game last night. And then Tatum, who also was supposed to miss two games, is actually listed as available for today. So he's in, and you see that line kind of move back and forth. I think it opened at 9. It went all the way down to 7.5 because, the Celtics were playing on the road home back-to-back, and they were also on the second night of a back-to-back as well. So, people were kind of bullish on the Pistons in this spot, which I probably never would, not against this team. But, we see Tatum in now. Dragic also listed as questionable. Rudy Gay now listed as questionable. Lauri Markkanen. We'll touch on that game. I definitely want to talk about that game. Maybe I can get some information to actually put a play in on that one because that's one of the games I'm actually on today. Rubio also listed as questionable in the Cavs game against the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly tonight. John Collins practicing in shoot-around Wednesday. I think he did miss the last game against Charlotte when they got smacked up the other day and gave up 144 points in that game. Reggie Jackson won't make his debut today. Terrence Ross signed with the Suns yesterday, and I think that's all we got as far as stuff for today. So we got a lot moving, like a lot of different pieces moving right now, man. So always suggest that you guys know who's in and who's out because one player changes everything for the teams at certain points. So that's what we got, man. So first game up that I really want to talk about. And let's see, the line is wow. So the Philly line that came all the way down. So we got 2 7-10 games, and I want to start there. I think the first one is the San Antonio and Charlotte game, and I typically don't like looking too deep into these games where there's teams that are two teams that playing each other and both of them are pretty terrible, right? But the Spurs are probably the worst team in the NBA. The Charlotte Hornets are also one of the worst teams in the NBA. And we just got news about the injury. San Antonio has really struggled to score the ball recently. You go back and look at their game log. They've just really, really struggled to score the ball consistently recently. Charlotte also has struggled to score the ball. They had an offensive explosion in that game 2 nights ago. I think it was Monday. Yeah, it was Monday night. Had an offensive explosion against the Atlanta Hawks at home. And typically when that happens, you see teams kind of regress. It is a tricky spot because it's the game before the All-Star break. So how much does San Antonio care about this game? It's also a tricky spot because you think about regression, you typically think about it being against a good defensive team. San Antonio is, however, the 10th ranked defensive team. Crazy to think about it, but San Antonio, if you go look at the numbers, they are the 10th best defensive team. I think they only gave up 117 points to a Cleveland Cavaliers team that had absolutely been balling recently. This total opened at 241. It got bet down to 239.5 last night. Well, this morning when I woke up, and I talked about that on the morning show about still liking the under. Then money flew in on the over, and it went all the way back up to 243.5. I think it's too difficult to pick an actual winner. The spread in this one opened at 6. It went up to 6.5 this morning. Then I saw it go all the way up to 7.5. So money came in on Charlotte to cover the spread. And now without Terry Rozier, it looks like money's coming back in on San Antonio now, and it's back down to about 5.5. So extremely difficult game to cap from a side perspective. I think Charlotte is the better team. Does the better team always win? Absolutely not. And Charlotte just beat Atlanta, and San Antonio's due for a win. I'm not sure if it's going to come on the road, but to me, this seems like a winnable game because Charlotte, can get in their own way at times. So I'm not picking a side. I do think that the total is still too high. I've been talking about these totals of 240 points or higher, and the overwhelmingly major statistic is that these games are flying under the total. 242 points is a lot. You think about the total. What I typically do is I look at the total, I take the total, divide it by 2, and then I just kind of figure out how many points is projected, how many teams is projected to score how many points. So with a total of 242, you divide that by 2, you get 121. Then 2.5 points above, 121 is about 224 points to about 124 points to 118 is what the books are telling you. I don't think that either one of these teams score that many points. Can Charlotte score that many points? Yes, but scoring 120 points consists of you scoring at least 30 points in each quarter. I think Charlotte will have a quarter this game where they don't get that many. I think San Antonio may have 2 quarters where they don't score 30 points, and that's with both teams playing at a pretty fast pace. So I really like the under. I played the under earlier when it was at 243.5 before I made the video earlier today. So that's my favorite. That's actually my favorite look on the board. I just feel like the total is extremely too high for 2 inconsistent offensive teams. I played the total under 243.5. Couldn't talk anybody off what it is right now. I do think you probably want to wait, but I think if you wait, Terry Rozier gets ruled out, the total is going to drop a little bit more. He has, been a big part of their offense. And when they're missing one piece, and when I say piece, I mean like they have 3 if you include PJ Washington, they have 4 really good scorers on this team with LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward. When he's actually like in the game, got his head in the game, he can fill it up and score and help facilitate. He had a really good game against Atlanta the other day. So I kind of look for this game to go. I look for it to go under. Like I said, I played the under. I still like it at the current price. If Terry Rozier is ruled out, it's going to drop a little bit more. It might close at about 241, 240.5, something like that. But I still look for that total to go under as well. So I didn't cap any player props, but of course, I mean, looking at guys like, LaMelo, I talked about his 3-point shooting. Dude's been, really killing it from the 3-point line. Also his assists. I know that the San Antonio Spurs giving it up, to everybody pretty much, especially guards. So LaMelo should be able to do whatever it is that he wants. Good Picks just DM me. He said, I'm on LaMelo over 7.5 rebounds at plus 105. It's a triple-double type game for LaMelo. I think he could definitely get there. His threes are absolutely in play. I think he just broke some kind of record in the last game. When I saw him get an interview post-game, and they were asking him the question about, hitting so many threes consecutively in a game. He's broke some kind of like franchise record. And he just flat out said, I'm going to keep shooting. No matter if I make 2 in a row, I miss 10 in a row, I'm still going to shoot the next one. And that's what we see from LaMelo. Dude's a sniper. Like he can shoot. And if he misses, it doesn't sway his confidence at all, which is really, really good for him and for their franchise moving forward, because he's just going to let it go. He going to either go 6 for 10 or he might go 2 for 10, but he gonna let it fly. San Antonio hasn't been playing a lot of defense. They'll still be without Trey Jones in this game. So I like I said, I like the under. Couldn't talk anybody off. The props for LaMelo in this spot as well. If you wanted to look at any of those, the triple-double, the points plus assists, and I expect the number to be inflated just because he's coming off a good game, but he's also, potentially playing in a game that Terry Rozier might not be a part of, and it's against a really poor defense. So couldn't talk anybody off his props, but I'm not on any of LaMelo's props today. And I just put that back up on the screen. The next game is the Bulls and the Pacers game. Not a lot that I'm really looking at in this spot. Of course, Chicago's will be without DeMar DeRozan. They've really struggled, in the week that I was kind of away. I don't think that they won a game. I know that they lost against Memphis on Sunday 2 weeks ago. I don't think it was a Sunday. I think it was, I can't remember what day of the week it was, but I remember them losing to Memphis. They were in a really bad spot. It was the second night of a back-to-back with travel. And shout out to my guy, Ben. I know me and Ben was talking about that, chopping it up in the DMs. And, they played well in that spot. They were playing really, really playing up to competition and played Memphis really, really tough until the fourth quarter came and they couldn't score anymore. And it seems like their offense has just struggled since then. So Miles Turner coming back in this game only helps Indiana because without Miles Turner, their defense struggles a little bit more. Indiana is due for a win. And we just got news that Caruso is going to play in this one. Dragic just got ruled out. Duncan Robinson also listed available to play. Larry Nance Jr. listed available to play. So we still getting injury news as we do the show. But I think the Pacers are the right side in this one. I'm just not going to play them. One thing I looked at was how Chicago does on the first leg of a back-to-back, and they perform well in this spot. I can't remember exactly what it was because I didn't write it down, but it's something like 6-2, 7-2 against the spread. They do have a game tomorrow against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Pacers play well at home, man. Halliburton kind of finding this groove. I know that they haven't been performing well recently, and this is a game where I just kind of want to stay off the side. With Miles Turner in and Chicago's kind of struggling offensively, I do feel like it's a game that's probably going to go under as well. The total hasn't really moved a lot. It opened at 231.5. It's down to 231. So only a little bit of money coming in on the under. I think the game goes under, and I think the Pacers win. I think Chicago continues to struggle to score on the road, and against the Bucks, I did look at the spot when they're playing against the Bucks the game before, and they're 1-1 in this spot. They played the Bucks twice. I thought maybe a look ahead to the Bucks might be in there. They got smacked up one game, and they actually won the other game. So not a lot that I'm really looking at, but I do think that the right plays in this game would be the Pacers and Pacers in the under if I was taking anything in this game, but nothing official for me in this game at all. The next game I want to talk about, so those are both for the 7-10 games. The next game is the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Philadelphia 76ers game. And this is a game that, I'm not really looking to bet at all. I think I talked about this earlier. The Cavs are a really, really hot team right now. They aren't losing a lot of games. I don't think they've lost since I've actually been on vacation. I think they've won every single game since I left, which is pretty impressive. They're 8-2 in their last 10, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 as well. Just looking back at their game log, beat San Antonio, beat Chicago, beat the Pelicans, beat the Pistons, beat the Wizards, the Pacers, the Grizzlies. So their last loss came against Miami, and that was way back on January the 13th. I think that they probably want to kind of keep it rolling. This does seem like a playoff type game. I anticipate this will be a playoff type atmosphere. Philly plays really, really well at home as well. I'm not sure what the trend is right off the top of my head, but I remember telling you guys that when Philly's at home and they have both Joel Embiid and James Harden in the lineup, and they're a home favorite, they typically cover a lot of the spread. So if I'm looking to play I'm not looking to play this game at all. I absolutely want nothing to do with this game. I think the line is sharp, and I think it's sharp for a reason. This is going to be a really, really big test because I feel like both of these teams are tier 2 type teams in the Eastern Conference. I think the upper echelon teams are the Boston Celtics and the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. And then you have teams like the Philadelphia 76ers and the Cleveland Cavaliers trying to identify themselves of, who's going to be the better team, who's going to get the home court advantage. With Brooklyn losing KD and Kyrie, they're probably going to slide out of that spot. And one of these teams will have, playoff home court in the playoff in the first round. So I anticipate that. I expect both of these teams to get better as they get more time. Both of these teams have also dealt with injuries to multiple players on their key players on their team as well. Cavs did just sign Danny Green, which is a great pickup for them because they could always use more shooting. And then Philly, of course, sent Matisse Thybulle away, and that happened as well. So I'm not looking to play this game. I think it's extremely sharp, and I'm like I said, I don't really want to get in the way of either one of these teams. So not a lot that I'm liking. This is a revenge game, however, for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think the Cavs smacked them up when they were shorthanded earlier in the season. The Cleveland beat them at home 113-85, laying 3.5 points in that spot. Line is kind of all over the Cavs where they opening at 3 and coming down to 1 in favor of Philly. Total in this one is coming down as well. It opened at 217, it's down to 216.5. And I think it could be a low scoring game. I also think that if these teams aren't taking this game, really serious, this game could fly over the total because it is such a low total. So I'm always hesitant to play these games with these low totals. This is, two of the teams that play at pretty slow pace, but they have pretty efficient offense, especially this Cleveland Cavalier offense recently And the Philadelphia 76ers play well at home in general. So I guess if I had a lean with this not being a playoff game and it being the game before the playoffs, before the All-Star break for, I think it's that for both of these teams. Yeah, both of these teams don't play again until after the All-Star break. I kind of think that this game could go over. If I had a play in this one, I think both of these teams could score whatever their projection is, and we see a little more offense than defense. James Harden is absolute food in this game. So if the 76ers do have a lead in the fourth quarter, I will be betting on Cleveland. If I can get a point spread of about +5.5, +6, I think this is a game that comes down to the final possession, and I'd be looking to take the Cavs if I can get them at a +5, +6, maybe going into the fourth quarter, because I do expect Cleveland to run heavy ISO from the guard position, whether it's Darius Garland, whether it's Donovan Mitchell, and to really try to isolate James Harden and pick on him defensively because he's absolute food on defense. He's lost maybe 4 steps. Dude cannot guard anybody. And I saw that against the Knicks when Jalen Brunson just kept putting in my ISO ball 2 weeks ago, and I lost my money betting on the 76ers in that spot. So I don't care if they're at home in this spot. I just feel like the Cavs guards are good enough. Darius Garland been absolutely on a tear, even on the road, which is where he started the season struggling. So that's what I got for you guys there. And I actually don't even want to go into all the games and break them down at this level. So I low key, the play that I really like the most is the one that I talked about to you guys already. And that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's the Charlotte Hornets and the San Antonio Spurs. Total under 243.5, down to 242 at most books with the Terry Rozier news. Like I said, I could go through all of these games, but I really don't feel like doing that today, especially when you don't know the motivation of all these teams. So I'm gonna just open it up to y'all. If people got questions about the games, just let me know. Like I said, I haven't dug as deep as I typically do, into every single game and looked at every single angle. I haven't even capped, a lot of the player props. Maybe I will after the show. But I kind of just want to hear from everybody else. If you guys got plays, send me a request and I'll get people up, to get their requests heard. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna actually go to the comment section because it's a lot. It's a lot of comments already, man. Y'all going crazy in the comment section. Might take Wiseman board. So Wiseman, I think, is going to start today in that game. Rotisserie ChrisBeCappinn. Yeah, I got a little 10, man. What up, Malik? What up, Derek? What up, Ivan? Yeah, I'm with the backwood, man. I don't really like a lot, man. I don't like a lot today at all. I look Dominican with the 10. I get that sometimes when I don't got a 10. Euphoria is on Miami money line. I do like Miami a little bit. I didn't cap that game completely, but I do think that they should be able to beat this Brooklyn team, even though they're shorthanded, man. I think that they need this type of win. Brooklyn is going to play extremely hard. I like the total going down. I do think that Brooklyn if they're gonna win games, it's gonna be because those games go under. And this total, I think, opened at 217 has been bought all the way down to 211.5. So I do like Miami a lot. I just didn't get there to the window with Miami. Pacers -2, over 216 for Cleveland and Philly, and Memphis -10. I actually like Euphoria looks today. I like those. I don't know if I want to lay 10 with Memphis just because they have been struggling to cover games specifically in the fourth quarter. So maybe you look towards a team total over for Memphis. The Utah Jazz aren't playing any type of defense. That team is really, really depleted now. Without all those guys. And if you like Memphis, you might want to get on them early because Lauri Markkanen is listed as questionable in this game. And he actually participating in 2 events this weekend at the All-Star game with that right knee soreness. So I think Lauri Markkanen could, set this one out. Of course, they're not going to let us know if he's going to set it out. But Lauri Markkanen is going to be in the 3-point shootout over the weekend, and he's going to play in the All-Star game. So 3-point shootout on Saturday and the All-Star weekend. And if they want to protect him, I do think that you sit him out in a meaningless game against the Memphis Grizzlies in a game that really means nothing at all for their franchise. They're trying to take games and I think they lose tonight whether he's in or out. But without him, I think the line probably shoots up to about Memphis -11. I think he's worth at least a point for this specific game. Might shoot up to 11.5. Memphis needing a win as well. I know that they just lost to the Boston Celtics by double digits, I think, in their last game. So they're back home. And Memphis travels well. They travel well from road to home, especially when they when they come home and they're a favorite, which is most of the time in general. But when they come home and they're a favorite, it's one of the things I was looking at. So I like Memphis today. I'm just not laying double digits with them. I can't lay double digits with Memphis, not right now. Y'all think Brunson go over again? I think Brunson continues the ball, man. He is. I talked about this on the morning show. Brunson should draw DeJounte Murray, and I talked about that game as well. I think that Knicks game, if I'm looking at the Knicks and the Hawks game, spreading this one opened at the Knicks at the Hawks being 2-point favorites. It's up to 4 now, the total at 234. And I talked about the under in this spot as well. You see money coming in on the under, not that much, but it's down to 233.5. And I think that's indicative of how bad the Atlanta Hawks looked in their last game. All the quotes that I read, everything that came out of that Charlotte Hornets game from the Atlanta side, from both Trae Young, who can't guard anybody because he's not tall enough, but he can play with a lot better defensive effort. And from Coach Nate McMillan said that they were going to play they were going to try a lot harder on the defensive end. We know defense is all about, effort, right? So if you want to play defense, even if you can't guard somebody, you can at least make it more difficult for them to make a shot, more difficult for them to drive by you. I think you see maximum effort from the Atlanta Hawks after giving up 144 points to a Charlotte Hornets team that should not be scoring 144 points against anybody. Charlotte had their best offensive game of the season. They shot the best percentage from the field, a season high from field goal percentage, a season high from three-point percentage, a season high three-pointers made. You got to come back with something on the defensive end. Also, this should be a playoff type atmosphere because recently the Atlanta Hawks have been the better team between the Knicks and the Hawks. And they're not the better team right now. The Knicks are clearly the better team between the two. So, it's always going to be some kind of rivalry between the two. I do expect a playoff type atmosphere. And I was looking at this game earlier. Didn't take a deep dive into it, but I do think there's some merit to taking the first half under in this game. And right now, let's see. I see the first half at 119.5. So that's literally 58 to 58. And I think it should go under that. I think it should be much more of a defensive game, maybe 55 to 52. If I had to look at that one at all. Let's see. We get more injury news. We got Doug McDermott available to play, which only helps the Spurs out even more. Derek White is also available to play. Kyrie now questionable. So he's been downgraded some. Gordon, we talked about Gordon Dragic already being ruled out. So yeah, that's the latest on the updates. I don't even have any requests, so I'm gonna I don't have any requests on Twitter. So if you guys got plays, send me a request and I'll get as many people up as I possibly can within like the next 15, 20, 30 minutes. But I'll just keep going through the YouTube comment section. I like Randall tonight. He always kills the Hawks. I couldn't talk you off Randall, man. Randall should ball tonight. They don't have anyone that can guard him. The Knicks look hungry. They look motivated. I couldn't talk anybody off Randall props tonight. Nothing that I'm officially on. John Collins and DeAndre Hunter are both game time decisions. I would definitely wait in that game before making a decision to do anything. I was thinking Nets team total under 106. See that as well. What up, RC? My guy RC here. Good to see you back, Chris. They scored 106 last game, and today's total is 106.5. Really telling, in my opinion. Let me get up somebody I know that's probably done cap these games inside and out. Let me get my guy RC up here. RC, can you hear me? What up, man? I'm trying to figure out why my AirPods keep connecting. Hold on 1 second, RC. Let me disconnect my AirPods. RC, what up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, all right, cool. Some reason my AirPods kept connecting to my phone instead of my laptop to my MacBook, but it's all good. Yeah, it's good to be back, my brother. I hope everything been going good with you, man. I can't wait to get back on the show next week when we can kind of get back into the NBA.
Yeah, dude, we wanna get you back on Let's Cat. We've been missing you over there.
Let's do it, bro. We can get back on.
Hey, did you place any bets yet?
Yeah, I placed the under. RC. I played the Hornets and the San Antonio Spurs under 243.5. Gave it out as my best bet of the day.
Do you like the team total under in that spot?
For the San Antonio Spurs?
The Spurs?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think if it goes under, I think the reason why I took the full game under versus like an actual team is just because I can see both of those teams kind of having a meltdown offensively and not being able to score. And I think that, all you need is one of those teams to have a quarter where they only score 25, 26 points and not get to that 30, 30 point plateau. And then the full game goes under. So Charlotte, I think, is due for some regression after scoring 144 points. I think when I looked at it earlier, I see teams that have a 40% win percentage or lower. So typically bad teams that score at least 140 points. I think there was something like 2-0 to the under in their next two games, only averaging about 115. The tricky part is that San Antonio is, one of the worst defensive teams, even though they have picked it up over the last 5 games. I think they're like 10th defensively. So that part is tricky. Both of these teams play with a lot of pace, so that part is also tricky. But I think one of these teams definitely go under their total, RC.
Yeah, I was choosing the Spurs in this spot here. Even if Charlotte doesn't get to the point where they scored in their last game, obviously, like, it's gonna be tough to replicate that offense with this team here. But if you just look at the roster makeup, Spurs got no PG right now. Trey Jones is out; he's pretty much their only facilitator and leader in the offense. I mean, you got guys that can score, but not really run the offense. And on the Hornets side, at least they got LaMelo, someone who could run the offense and push the pace. So I was actually thinking that the Spurs, they go under their team total. And actually, surprisingly, Hornets, I like the Hornets to cover here. I know this is, obviously you don't like laying points with the Hornets, especially this high. But to me, I think it's sort of a telling line.
Okay, I can see that, RC. I can see that. I'm scared to lay double. I'm scared to lay double. Double possession points with the Charlotte Hornets. I don't know if you saw this, RC, but I think it may have been like right before the show started. Terry Rozier actually got downgraded to doubtful as well with a wrist. It just randomly popped up. So that's some injury news. But the Spurs have been really struggling to score the ball. So I think it's possible. I just don't want to necessarily back the Charlotte off a big win like that. So, but I could definitely see it. I didn't play the game at all. I more so just wanted to kind of focus in on the total, like you tell me all the time.
That 240 threshold.
That 240 threshold, RC. Yeah, I like it.
I do want to drop one game before, because I was watching your YouTube and you're like, nobody's requesting, so I wanted to pop in. But I actually like the Sixers tonight. Sixers in this spot here, they're coming up pretty much like a revenge game here. They lost by like almost 30 points the first matchup, but Philly, they didn't have Harden or Maxey that game, and the Cavs were without Jared Allen. But to me, obviously, in my opinion, Harden and Maxey combined is a bigger difference than missing Jared Allen for the Cavs. If we look at some of the trends and angles, Sixers 12-0 straight, 10-2 against the spread at home versus teams with a winning record. On the other side, we look at the Cavs and how they do on the road versus teams with a winning record. They're only 2-5 straight up and 3-4 against the spread. Sixers in the revenge game, 10-2 straight up and against the spread there, including 7-0 straight up and against the spread. If they're at home, they're winning by about 13 points per game in that spot. They're averaging 118.4, allowing just 105.9. A lot of things are to me are just pointing towards the Sixers side here. And even just looking at, how like most of the teams today, they don't have another game until after the All-Star break. So what I did was look at how teams do when they have extended rest between today's game and their next game. The Sixers, they're 5-2 straight up and against the spread when they have at least 2 days or more of rest going into their next game. So, like I said, man, everything really is pointing towards the Sixers side. I even looked at them as, how the line flipped from Sixers as favorites to now they're dogs. I looked at the home dog situation for the Sixers. They had 4 games this season. In those 4 games, they were missing at least one of their big 3, either Embiid, Maxey, or Harden, and they won. They won 3 out of the 4. They did cover all 4 of them combined too. And the most recent one, I believe, Embiid was out, and they were able to take care of business there. So, I don't know exactly what the reasoning is behind why the line has moved like 3.5 points or whatever it is. But I think even if Embiid doesn't shoot up, there's a chance that the Sixers still win this game.
I like it, RC. A lot of analysis to back that, bro. So RC, do you think that the line is moving because the public is just betting on Cleveland because they feel like they're a hotter team right now? Because Cleveland has won a lot of games in a row. It does kind of feel like they they found their footing, especially on road games. We used to fade them a lot, like when they were, in road games, because I mean, one point in time they lost to the Spurs outright. I know you remember that game because I think we did a show like together, or like we did your show together that day. They lost outright, but it does seem like they've been able to kind of get some confidence boosting wins on the road. So you think the public is just backing the Cavs because they've been hot right now?
That could be it. Also, just the fact that Embiid is considered questionable. Not everyone's kind of like trying to figure out whether or not he's going to play. But Chris, you got to look at some of the teams that the Cavs have played during this win streak, because a lot of them, they're all in bad form. You got the Spurs, right? Bulls. You got Pelicans just coming back with Ingram not too long ago. Pistons are terrible. Wizards, they've been in bad form as well. Pacers without Hallie. Grizzlies, they've been in bad form since Steven Adams been out. So that's pretty much their whole winning streak there, and none of them in good form. You know what I mean? So some of these wins could be taken out of context.
Yeah, absolutely. I see. When you go through it like that, it makes a lot of sense. And you're right. You're right. A lot of these teams, yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. I didn't have a strong feel in this game at all, but you definitely got me leaning towards the Sixers now. And I talked about the Sixers just being really strong at home, as home favorites with both Joel Embiid and James Harden. And so, that I think if I'm looking to play a side, I'm definitely not looking towards the Cavs now, RC, unless like you said, if Embiid gets ruled out, of course the line drops, even more, and the Cavs become probably 3-point favorites. I think Embiid moved the line at least 2.5 to 3 points, and we've already seen money come in so much that they're not even the 76ers aren't even favorites, and they open as favorites on some books right now. They have shifted to being a dog on some books. I see Cavs -1 on DraftKings right now. So, and a lot of books got this line, all the way down to pick 'em as well. So, whoever you feel the most confident in. But RC, you gave a lot of great analysis on back in Philly at home today for sure. I know we also, real quick, RC, I know we also had looked at, I didn't look into this since I've been back from vacation, but I know we had also looked at like those two teams that have a 50% win percentage or better, just kind of like you could blindly take the home team because the home team had been covering so much. And I think that was the same thing with like 60, when both teams have a 60% win percentage, the home team typically covers in that spot. And that's actually something I'm gonna look at a little bit more probably when I get done with the show. Because you got me looking towards taking the 76ers today.
Yeah. No, I think we did talk about that on our show. I didn't save the query. I typically do when I find something nice, but I'm pretty sure we looked at it with both teams winning record, and something that had to do with the line and being at home too as well. Now I can't even think of it, but I know we did talk about it.
Yeah, RC. So RC is 20. I just looked at it. 25-12 straight up, 67.6% on the money line. So that's what, 2 out of every 3. If you were to blindly just take the 76ers at home today, for them just to, on the money line, 25-12 on this trend, winning by average of 6 points in this spot. And it looks like for the last, nah, hold on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-0 in the last 8. 9-1 in the last 10 as well on the money line. If you were just to take them straight up, so even more support for you there. I see. I like the Sixers today, man.
Yes, sir. Let's
Like
make
the
it happen.
Sixers tonight. Okay, now I appreciate that, RC. That's a look that is definitely. I think it's even if I don't take it, other people kind of looking to get some more analysis on the game. RC just gave a thorough breakdown. Appreciate you, RC.
Yep. All right, man. Good luck today.
Absolutely, same to you, bro. Let me kick it to my guy Mitch real quick, and then Dream, I'm coming to you. What up, Mitch?
Hey, Chris, welcome back, brother.
Hey, I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate you, man. How you been doing? What's been going on? I hope you've been burning the books up, man. What you been doing?
I saw that you were on vacation. I didn't even know because I've been pretty much on a hiatus as well. I'm back today. I'm shooting. Got a lot of plays on the board, but I'm gonna share this one. I got Ayo Dosunmu over 3.5 assists, -115. DeMar DeRozan's not playing tonight. AO averages 4.3 without DeRozan in the lineup, and I don't have it right in front of me, but it's either 4 or 5 games this year, so not a huge sample, but still, good enough to entice me. He's also hit this in 4 of his last 6 with DeRozan in the lineup. So he had a game with 8, a game with 6, a game with 4, and a game with 5. In there, he also only had a 1 and a 3. I'm looking for over 3.5. Looking like a fast-paced game playing against Indiana. Not much defense. I'm expecting him to be able to dish out 4 assists tonight without a problem. So yeah, that's a play for me today. I just have one quick thing. I know you guys just went in depth in that Sixers and Cavaliers game. You guys expecting like a playoff atmosphere? Because I'm on that under. But honestly, after all the research and everything I did today, all I kept finding was stuff for the over. But these two teams have been playing some crazy defenses lately. Over the last 3 games, are both 1 and 3 in the league, giving up 101 points, 103 points. I know some of those teams are in the best form, but the only way I can look at this game is the under. And I just want to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, Mitch, I feel like I haven't done enough research to really give you a super educated opinion. I just feel like I would want to look like more into like what the beat writers are saying about the game, because I want to know how serious they take this game, right? Like both of these teams, right? Like if they take it extremely serious, I definitely think that we look towards the under. But if they kind of chuck it up as like, it's just a game, before the All-Star break, and James Harden can't wait to get back to doing this thing, and some of those other players the same way, because this is both of their last game before the All-Star break, which kind of made me want to kind of stay off the total in a lot of these games today, honestly. But so I think that kind of leans me towards the over because it is their last game. The 76ers, sneakily they go over when they're at home as well. I know me and RC had kind of talked about that as well. Yeah, their offense is really good, and the Cavs are, I feel like kind of due for a letdown defensively against one of these more elite offensive teams. But the Cavs struggle to score on the road as well too, especially when they're playing against really good defensive teams. And I think Ronald just made a point for them, scoring and winning their games recently. They haven't really played a lot of elite defenses on the road. So I could kind of see it going both ways, Mitch, without having, done a lot of SDQL and, looking at recent trends, in this one. So I kind of wanted to stay off the total. I do see that it is some money did come in on the under, Mitch. I think it's down to 216.5, and I know it opened at 217. So, yeah.
I got 217.5, I think, last night.
Nice.
And just hearing Ronald talk about, maybe them wanting some revenge and maybe them taking it a little bit more serious than your normal average game before the All-Star. I was leaning that way. My numbers brought it to the under, but then when I went to go look at some of the SC, either way, talked about it, figured it out. Doesn't matter. We'll see what happens.
Right. Well, best of luck, my brother. I don't have like I said, a strong opinion on either, but I hope you cash it. Especially if you're on the under, because I like when contrarian underplays cash. So I'm riding with you, bro. I hope you cash it, Mitch. Best of luck to you tonight. Absolutely. Let's do it. Let me kick it to my guy Dreaming and Black. I'm coming to you after that. Dream, what's going on, man? Long time no talk, man. Hope everything been going good with you. Hope you've been cashing the all the plays, man, especially the parlays and the long shots, the blunt money bets. What up, Dream? Man, vacation was amazing, Dream. If anybody popped into on the show this morning, watched the video, the Bet US video, or watching the stream right now on YouTube, they can see that I done got a nice little tan. It was full of beaches and drinks with umbrellas in them. So yeah, it was good, Dream. It was good, man. Needed that, man. Feel refreshed, recharged. Got the All-Star break coming up, so another little break, and then we're gonna really jump into things and dive into things as we get more information on these teams, and we start to see, I think everybody kind of take this season a little more serious on the second end, after the All-Star break. So yeah, real good, Dream. Appreciate you asking me, my brother.
Yeah, of course. So I'm gonna just run through my plays, man. I really was on a good tear until 2 nights ago, but shit, we're gonna get it started back up. The first two plays got away from me, but I'm still gonna explain the analysis so you can get on them if you want. But the first play I took was the Pistons. I posted it this morning at probably like 8 in the morning. I just thought the line was funny. And I still obviously love them at 12.5, but I don't mind my Pistons at +9. The reason why I like this is the Pistons, they're a team with veterans, Bogdanovich, Alex Burks. So yeah, they can get blown out, but it's not like they're a team like the Hornets or the Spurs where they're just running out a bunch of young guys. the Pistons, not the Pistons, but the Celtics are on a back-to-back, so it's a away home back-to-back. It's like one of the worst type you can have. It's not like it's across the country, but they just played last night. Then they traveled. Now they playing tonight. Tatum originally wasn't gonna play because he was sick. He's gonna play tonight, but I don't see him playing 40 minutes. He could, but I don't see him playing 40 minutes with the All-Star break coming up. And he's supposed to play in the All-Star game. Derek White hurt like his face or his nose, something. He stayed over in Milwaukee. So it's a lot of reasons why I think Detroit just gonna win the game. So I love him with the 9. So I would obviously advise to take him to 12.5. The next game I played was the under in the Miami Nets game. I played that at 217.5. But the reason why I think it's still, I don't want to give it out, but I can't talk you off of still playing it at 211.5 or 211. So I can't remember the last time we had a game with like 4 Defensive Player of the Year candidates. Even if Jimmy Butler ain't a candidate this year or Bam not, you have 2 great like top defenders in the league with Bam and Jimmy Butler. Then you got Nick Claxton on the other side with Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith. Like, the defense in this game should be good. I would assume it is. Aside from that, I was watching my boy Ski, one of his shows, and he mentioned that both times these teams play. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was another game. I'm thinking they both went under 200, but long story short, I'm playing the all 200, under 200. I already got 217. I'm playing the all 200, under 200. I think this is going to be just a rock fight of the game. So they scored 240 tonight. Hey, it is what it is. But I love the under in that game. I would still personally play it. My next play, AD under assist, 2.5. I got it at minus 130. Long story short, he went under the 7 of the last 9 games. One of the games that he went over when he had 3 assists was against the Pelicans, but that's before we got that's before the Lakers got D'Angelo Russell, Vanderbilt, who was a great interior passer. So I just don't. AD, I think his responsibility passing the ball is going to be even less than normal. LeBron's coming back tonight. He should come back tonight. Like I said, D'Lo, Schroeder. I love his under 2.5 assists. This is his 7 of the last 9. Next, Trae Young, over 10.5 assists. This is hit 8 of the last 10. And, like, his last 4 games, he's having stupid assist numbers, like 17, 15, 14, shit like that. So I love it. Over 10.5. I can't talk you off a ladder. Another reason why I love it, we know Trae Young going against the Knicks. That's kind of like his rival team. So, and it's the last game before the All-Star break. I'm not sure if he actually got voted in as a alternate or not, but if he didn't, either way it goes, he feels disrespected because he's leading the league in assists, and he didn't get accepted to the team. And my last play is Dennis Smith Jr. over 14.5 points. This is a play I'm just trying to get ahead of the Rozier news. They don't have his actual points on FanDuel right now, but you can just go under the 15 points. They got 15, 20, 25, all that. You go under that and play it. It's plus 115. I like this so much just because I watch a lot of Charlotte because Melo's one of my favorite players. And anytime he come in, he's going to know. He's going to try to score. He's going to shoot. So if he starts tonight, oh my God, he might score 20-something. But even if he plays elevated minutes, 25, 26, 27, I love him to score 15 points. He's had double digits in 3 of the last 5 games. And the other 2 games that he didn't, he scored 9 in. So it's not like I'm asking somebody to score a lot of points that's not accustomed to it. And if you watch him play, he's a scorer. He's not a pass-first point guard. He's a score-first guy. So I love that. I got all my blunt money bets on my page. I'm going to post a bunch of parlays because it's the All-Star break. But the one I want to share with y'all, that is my favorite blunt money better tonight. I played the Nets to win between the win margin, 1 and 5, between 1 to 5, and Miami win margin, between 1 and 5. Basically, either one of these teams got to win between 1 and 5. I got it plus 500 a piece at PointsBet. DraftKings got it at plus 410, 420. I can't talk you off. But the reasoning behind this, I read an article about a week ago saying how Miami, just their style of play, and historically they're playing the most close games. Like, they're on pace to play the most close games of all time. As you see tonight, it's a 1.5 point spread. In the Heat, last 10 of 11 games, 10 of the last 11 games have been decided by 5 points or less. So, I expect that to continue tonight. I expect it to be a low-scoring 1 to 2 possession game. I don't know who's going to win, but I expect whoever to win by 1 to 5 points. So I played each of those at plus 500. The next best thing I could say play is plus 235. Either team to win 1 to 5, but I like the plus 500. I think it's better odds. So that's what I'm on.
Okay, who was that other one, Dream? I know you said that. You said the Heat in one, right?
So it's the same game. So the Heat versus the Nets.
Okay.
It's the same game. 10 of the last 11 Heat games have been decided by 5 points or less.
Okay.
Whether they win or lose. So I just played the Nets to win margin 1 to 5 is plus 500, and Miami win margin 1 to 5 at plus 500. Obviously, one hit and you up.
Right. No, absolutely. That's why you play both. I like it, Jay. I like it. Okay. Yeah, you just need them to win by 2 possessions, a couple free throws after, a late shot being missed or something like that. Okay. Dream got the looks, man. Y'all give Dream a follow if y'all haven't already, man. Dream got a lot of looks. He come in, he share them all the time. Post all his plays on his page as well. Do his research late at night, so he getting the best lines as well. So definitely shoot my man Dream a follow for sure. Appreciate you sharing the looks, Dream. Hope you cash him. Let me kick it to Black real quick, and then I'm coming to my guy Ben as well. What up, Black? How you doing, man? You sound like you going through a tunnel on a scooter or something, but yeah, I can hear you a little bit. That's better.
All right. Appreciate you for having me up, man. I've been watching you for years now. I appreciate you something.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you showing appreciation. What you on today? You got some looks?
Yeah, I got a player prop. I got 30 Hill points. They started off at 16.5, but they dropped it down to 15.5. But he ain't been hooping good recently, but today just feel like the get right spot. The Bulls been giving up the 5th most points this season to startup shooters. In the last 6 games, the Bulls played. Bain scored 17. Anthony Simons scored 27. Yuta Watanabe scored 14 in 22 minutes. Joe Harris scored 18 in 21 minutes. And Buddy Hill played in 2 times this season. He scored 25 the first game, 19 the second game, and he scored at 19 without Halliburton. And I'm pretty sure most of his shots are assisted off Halliburton too. So I'm really strong with that, but I like it.
Okay, so Buddy to break out his shooting slump tonight. I like when you get ahead of it, Black. Like I like when people call their shots, man, and they actually bet something that ain't been cashing, but they can kind of forecast it. I like that a lot, bro. Hope you cash on that. You got another one for us?
I got shooting over 10 rebounds too. Versus I like the Lakers versus the Lakers. We're like top 5 and points, like taking 2-point shots, and normally versus the teams that take a lot of 2-point shots, Valanciunas is 10 rebounds, so I'm playing that too.
Okay, and that's over 9.5 or over 10.5?
Over 10.5.
Over 10.5. Okay. I hope you cash it, man. I appreciate you sharing the looks.
I appreciate you for having me up.
Absolutely, my brother. Let me kick it to my guy Ben real quick, and I'm gonna get a couple more people up here before we get out. Also got a little quick announcement that I want to make real quick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now while everybody in here, and then I'll kick it to Ben. So only a quick slight alteration of what we already doing. So after the All-Star break, I'm gonna starting the show at 5:30 Eastern time versus starting it at 5:15, and I'm gonna try to cap it at about 45 minutes. So my analysis will be a little bit shorter and less than or equal to 15 minutes. And I'll make sure all my plays are done in about 15 minutes around the analysis that I have, which will give everybody else about 30 minutes. And we'll be done about 6:15, 6:20 at the latest, which will give other people who get into the space later a chance to kind of go back and, watch all the plays or listen to the recap, over on YouTube as well. So that's what I wanted to share real quick. Starting after the All-Star break, the show started at 5:30 instead of 5:15. Because I feel like more people join in later than necessarily at the beginning as well. So just a quick update I wanted to share real quick. Let me kick it to Ben real quick, and I'm gonna get a couple other people up, and then we're gonna get up out of here. What up, Ben?
Hey man, I hope you enjoy your trip.
I did, bro. I absolutely did. I appreciate that, Ben.
So we got a few plays, probably more than a few plays tonight, for being honest. But I've kind of identified some smash spots where basically I play them no matter what if the circumstance, happens. Those for tonight are Jokic triple-double. He's got triple-doubles in 13 of his last 15 home games. It's very transparent. I think he's only got triple-doubles in 2 of his last, 12 to 14 road games. So it's a pretty transparent split. We're playing point guards and ball handlers against the Jazz. So we got Morant over his points and Desmond Bane over his points. The Jazz are giving up about 6 points per game over opponents' points per game scoring average to both primary ball handlers and secondary ball handlers. And both of them have at least average or positive home run scores over the last 20 games. And then the last smash spot, which I think we're just going to keep hitting until they adjust, is Jaren Jackson Jr. 3 blocks in the win. Memphis obviously has a very good record at home, and Jaren Jackson's got 3 blocks in every home game this year, but I believe 2 or 3. So we got that at plus 125 this morning, I believe. And then I'll get to a couple other plays. I got Julius Randle over his 26.5. I like it if John Collins doesn't play. I love it if John Collins does, but a lot of my cap had to do with him playing against Collins. Randle's averaging 6 more points per game on the road versus at home since December 15 and since January 1st. And, people who hear me come in here, I talk a lot about different splits and different usages. I typically don't bet against them. So when you see a 6 gap like that, road to home, that's a guy who I, probably want to just take in that one environment. And then on top of that, Brunson's got a pretty negative matchup tonight. And usually in games where Randle doesn't get over his prop, it's usually just because someone else gets hot. And then Randle's going to be checked by Murray all night, who's obviously the Hawks' best on-ball defender. And then on top of this, even without, Murray over there or Brunson on the team, Randle's averaging 29 a game as a member of the Knicks versus John Collins. And we're only looking for 26.5. So everything here points to me, and all playing power forwards have been scoring about 2.5 points above their 30-day average over the last 30 days against the Hawks. So everything for me kind of points towards Randle scored somewhere between 29 and 32 points tonight. And then the other one I'll come up here and share. I'm waiting until Markin gets pulled out officially, so that Clarkson's number gets bumped a little bit higher. But I'm going to take Clarkson's under. If it gets bumped to 25.5 or 26.5, I'm going to take his under on that. Dylan Brooks has been holding, guys who are kind of like primary or secondary ball handlers, or also guards for opposing teams. He's been, locking them up pretty good. Sexton's got a pretty close matchup tonight. Obviously with him not having Brooks starting him likely, while both Clarkson and Sexton are on the floor. And then we also have some blowout potential in this game, so I think there's a lot of different ways that we can get to Clarkson's under if it gets bumped to that 25.5.
That's a hell of a look, Ben. I hadn't thought about that. Clarkson already is ready to put them Dukes up too, so he might not even make it throughout the full game if if Dylan Brooks do something crazy to him. He might not make it out the first quarter. And your unders do cash if your players get ejected. So I like that, Ben. So Robert Williams just got ruled out. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I talked about that at the beginning of the show. He won't be available for the Boston Celtics tonight on the second leg of that road home back-to-back. But yeah, I like the looks, Ben. I like the Clarkson look. I like Randle. We know what he the amount of energy he typically brings to these games against the Atlanta Hawks, and all the back and forth between him and Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks in their recent history. Jared Jackson Jr., I know you've been talking about that one for a while now, Ben. Dude seems like 3 blocks in the first half of every game. So 3 blocks in a win, crazy. You still got that at plus money. Absolutely love that play. You don't have to worry about the spread. Just worry about the worry about the them winning the game, and they should be able to take care of business with a spread that's at 10, and them kind of needing a win going into the All-Star break versus a team that's tanking. So like that look a lot as well. Ben Desmond Bain to go over his points prop, Morant to go over his as well, with them still being shorthanded. Jokic triple double. I don't know if that's plus money or not, but it seems like he's getting one pretty much every single game. So couldn't talk you off there, Ben, especially with him being at home.
Plus 115 is more than
Plus 115 for Jokic.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Solid looks, man.
I got one more. If LeBron's out, I'm taking 80 rebounds. It doesn't really matter what they move the line to. He's averaging 17.4 rebounds per game this year with LeBron out in games where he's played 30 minutes or more.
Okay.
So I'll be on that for sure. I mean, I maybe they move it to 12 and a half. He's over 12 and a half every game this year where he played 30 minutes. So that's if he gets ruled out.
Okay, so 80 rebounds if Bron is ruled out. Okay, now I like it. I like it a lot. Pelicans struggle against big men. We know they've been getting roasted in that department. AD, kind of revenge game narrative for him as well. And he also just played terrible with 19 points and 20 rebounds in that last game against a Portland team that had him defended by Drew Eubanks. That's nasty work right there. So I look for him to be a little more aggressive. I think I'm not betting on the Lakers tonight, but I do think that they should be able to win this game tonight against the Pelicans because they need a confidence boost and win. And they've been swaying back and forth. Should have won the game, I thought, against the Portland Trailblazers, but couldn't play a lick of defense to stop anybody. I think they're also struggling with some cohesiveness. LeBron hasn't played any games recently, so I think that they typically go back and forth, up and down on the wins and losses, and I think this is a game where they should probably be able to win tonight. So I like the looks from Ben, man. I think Ben shared a lot of good looks, and definitely seeing him having a profitable night looking at those props. Let me kick it to my guy YBB real quick, and then bet with the boys. I'm coming to you, and then Kicks and Picks gonna finish us out. What's up, YBB? How you doing, bro?
Yo, what's going on, Chris? How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. I'm gonna give one play and one play only. I'll try to make it short and sweet. But today, I like the Memphis Grizzlies to cover the spread, and I like it with or without Lauri Markkanen in the lineup. The Memphis Grizzlies are a perfect 13-0 ATS at home when facing an opponent they went over the total with in a previous matchup who was off a game where they were no more than 2-point underdogs. The Jazz fit that in the script, and Memphis is winning these games by 19.5 points per game. That's number one. The second thought on that is the Jazz as a 10-point dog in franchise history. They're 1-18 straight up, but they've lost these games by 17 points per game. And lastly, the Grizzlies, they are off a game where their delta points scored was less than 0. So delta points scored, for those of you who do not know, that is the team's total expectancy. So you know how you guys bet on team totals and stuff like that. The Grizzlies didn't get there the last game. So at home over a team that they beat in a previous matchup in this spot, the Grizzlies are 21-6 ATS. This is since the 2021 season. And they're 22-5 straight up. They're winning these games by 14 points per game. And the last point on this, something that you can't really have trends or systems, is that their way out. We've seen them peak already, and this is a team that I have noted as a sell team. They lost Mike Conley, Lauri Markkanen is questionable. They've performed above and beyond their expectations on the season, and I think that kind of regresses a little bit as we enter the All-Star break and thereafter as well. So for all those reasons,
Yeah, I also agree with that, YBB. I think this team is done winning games. I think they won so many games, YBB, that arguably you could say that, Danny Ainge was like, let me break up the team even more because I wasn't expecting you guys to even win that many. So let me just trade away everything, and we'll just have about 5 guys that can actually go out there and get buckets, and we'll have like a G League type bench. So I think that's what they did, with the breakup of sending, getting rid of Conley, sending Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley to LA. Absolutely love that angle, and that's definitely gonna be a team that we should profit on, YBB, towards the second half of the season, trying to fade them in as many spots as we possibly can, for sure.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm gonna head out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hope you cash it, YBB. YBB say he's on Memphis minus the 10 tonight, taking them on the spread. Best of luck with that one, my brother. Hope I could definitely see a cash, and I like the Grizzlies tonight too. Just didn't get there. Bet with the boys coming to you, and then kicks and picks. I'm bringing you up right now, my guy. What's up, Bet with the boys? How you doing?
What's up, Chris? What's going on?
What's up, man? How you?
Good, good. Real quick, so I don't really bet NBA at all until kind of gets close to playoffs. So I usually just rock with everything that you say. But I just want to let you know, I just got a text from a buddy at the Sixers organization. So I thought I wanted to spread this with you. That said that do not be surprised if he doesn't suit up tonight. So I've gotten this text from before, and it's been pretty accurate. And the line's starting to reflect it. He said that foot's looking a little tender, and they might just keep him out, with before All-Star break and everything like that. So don't quote me on that, you know what I mean? But I thought you might as well get the show and let you know about that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate that for sure. I like you said, the line is starting to reflect it for sure. And if if you got a reliable source, then something you might want to take to the bank. He does have the All-Star game coming up, and it just kind of depends on how serious they want to take this game. I'm pretty sure he could play if he wants to. And B's been listed on the injury report for the last 3 weeks to a month probably with the same injury, and he's been playing through it at least from what I've been watching and witnessing. He's been playing through it. So take with that information that Bet with the boys just shared, and do as you may. I'm gonna sit that one out. Bet, yeah, I'm gonna sit that one out.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, Sixers are my team, so I would never really try to bet against them. But if there was a spot that I was going to bet against them tonight, would be a good night because I think that we can struggle with this team. But yeah, man, best of luck. And if anyone wants some college bets tonight, we're doing a show in about 4 minutes, so check this out.
Nice for sure. Absolutely. Appreciate you sharing that, Bet. Best of luck to you tonight, especially on your college action as well. Kicks and picks. I'm kicking it to you. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What you got for the people tonight? What you got? You got something good?
Okay. So yeah, I'm actually really upset because my boy hit this line earlier at much better odds, but they had Josh Hart PRA at 17.5. Minus 109 he got. I had to take it PRA at least 19, and I got minus 120 on that. Now, Josh Hart has hit the last 5 games. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention off the bench, but he's really just been. I'm a Knicks fan, so I thought that this guy coming, I'm dude, we're giving up, these picks, is this really worth it? And the guy's just been a phenomenon since joining the Knicks, which is great to see. And him and Brunson on the court together are lethal when they do play. So I'm taking Josh Hart at least 19 points, rebound, assists at minus 120. And I want to give a shout out to, I believe his name was Ben, was just on talking about that Jokic stat. I literally just placed that bet as he mentioned that, and I took a minus 170 on that. And give me 1 second. There's one more I placed. Oh, so I actually placed this as an NHL bet, but the Leafs were minus 600 money line. I've never seen odds like that before, but I needed to sprinkle in an NBA there. And I like OKC tonight against the Rockets at home. So I just, it was more to get a better positioning on my NHL bet, but I'm taking that OKC against the Rockets at home, and that does it for me tonight in terms of NBA.
Okay, I appreciate you sharing those looks, man. The Josh Hart look I think is pretty solid. I know you said 19 and a half. I see 18 and a half on some books as well. So yeah, Josh Hart's been balling. I got his. If you guys are watching on Twitter, on YouTube, you guys can see that. I got his game log pulled up. He has played 2 games with the Knicks, and he's went over this 18 and a half points, rebounds, and assists in both games, playing 26 and 28 minutes in both of those games. He's coming off a really, really, really solid game. Shot 10 for 14, was talking a bunch of trash, when they beat the Brooklyn Nets at MSG the other day. So this will be his first road game with the Knicks. Not sure how that impacts him, if it does at all, but he's been clearing this even when he was in Portland. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that could be a gem, kicks and picks. So I appreciate you sharing that. That's Josh Hart over his 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And I do think the way to play it is, definitely the PRA line, because Josh Hart does so many different things, for any team that he's on. So it's not always, just points. It's rebounds. He also can distribute the ball as well. So I like that look. That's a solid look from you, kicks and picks. Appreciate that. And I hope you cash that and the other looks that you shared as well, my brother. Let me kick it to Bookie real quick, and Vaughn, and we getting up out of here. What's up, Bookie? You connected?
Yo, what's up, Chris? I hope you had a good vacation, man. I got a late start today, and I'm probably just staying off the props because just around this time of year, right before All-Star break. I got a free bet, and I got a late start, so I was wondering what two teams do you think are in the best spots? And I'm thinking about just do a little money line parlay and throw it on that.
Two teams in the best spot tonight. I think the Memphis Grizzlies are in a really good. Yeah. I think the Memphis Grizzlies are in a really good spot tonight. And I think let me look at the lines. Let me look at some of these spots again. Let's see. The Memphis Grizzlies, I really like the spot that they're in tonight, being at home. And Oklahoma City Thunder, I think, I think Houston has probably given up on winning. OKC, coming off a loss, typically they bounce back well in that spot, especially when they're at home. The line that went up to 10 has come back down to 9.5 now. But those two teams, I think, are probably in the best spot as far as.
What do you think about Denver? I know they're kind of running without a point guard right now. Obviously lost his bones, and I think Murray's going to sit out throughout the All-Star break. But what do you think about them? I think Kyrie was downgraded to questionable as well. I think they're 4.5 favorites. What do you think about that spot?
It went up. It went up to 5.5. I think if I'm playing anything in that game, I'm just looking at Jokic. When Denver doesn't have someone, to me it just screams, especially if it's a playmaker. To me, it just screams more uses for Jokic, right? So then I'm not as hesitant on, will he get his numbers? If he's playing without some of his, key production type guys, I'm only looking at him to kind of, step it up. And we also know that they lost Bones Highland, so that's even more playmaking that they need. And I know they're not running them into the ground, but I just think that they probably want to win that game. I've watched Dallas play a couple times since they got Kyrie, and the biggest thing that I've seen, the biggest thing that's kind of stuck out to me is their inability to be able to play defense. You lose Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a really good, lockdown 3-and-D type guy. You bring in Kyrie, who can guard. I'm not sure. I know Kleber had been out. I'm not sure if he's playing this game or not. But bringing in Kyrie not gonna help your defense. It's only gonna help your offense. And I watched the Minnesota Timberwolves in Dallas score 100 and 100 points in the first 3 quarters. I know they only finished with 125, 126, something like that. But Luka's not the greatest defender, so I think they're food on the defensive end. I would be looking towards Jokic, looking at his props, because I do think that Kyrie and Luka is enough offense to keep the game competitive. But I think that's just more uses for Jokic. And I hadn't even really capped that game or looked into it. That's just kind of what jumps off the page to me. Christian Wood and Dwight Powell, best of luck to you guys tonight. Trying to guard.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything against Jokic.
Yeah, I mean nobody can know, right? Like Jokic he's unguardable.
I mean, you're not just guarding Jokic, too. You're guarding 2 people, really. You're guarding that back cut. You're guarding every passing lane possible.
Absolutely,
it's a task for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the way I kind of, if I'm looking at anything, I think without them having a key production guy, I'm looking at Jokic. I mean, the dude, he doesn't cheat the game. He plays extremely hard every single game. He doesn't take nights off. He doesn't take plays off the offensive end. He will take plays off the defensive end. I think it's funny how he plays defense, because he doesn't care if you score on him. It's just more so about if you're going to be able to stop him. I watch him, just give up layups, and he's not going to foul or get in any kind of foul trouble, because I think he understands his significance and importance of being on the floor and how much that impacts the team. But
That's why I love that. That's why I love that Thomas Bryant pickup, man. Because if you know that Nuggets team, their one weakness was backup center, really, man.
Absolutely, right. DeAndre Jordan. Oh my God, yeah, we're not gonna talk about him, but yeah, you're exactly right. I'm trying to see what we got on. So Tim Hardaway Jr. did get ruled out. Kyrie, of course, got downgraded to questionable. Christian Wood, questionable with an illness. Kleber is still out, so it looks like he's not going to be back until maybe after the All-Star break. I know I hadn't seen him return, so I think he is still out. I know Reggie Bullock was listed as probable with an illness. I think he is going to play in that one. But yeah, Jamal Murray being out, I would just look towards towards Jokic. He's going to keep him in it, especially at home, in my opinion. But
I love it, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Vacation was good, man.
Absolutely not. Vacation was amazing. Appreciate you asking, Bookie. Let me kick it to Vaughn. Vaughn gonna finish us off tonight. What up, Vaughn?
Yo, what's good, bro?
What up, man? How you?
I'm good, bro. Glad to have you back, man. Hope everything was good for you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, Vaughn. Everything was straight, bro. Feel good to be back, though. You know, back in my element.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm on a couple of plays tonight, man. I went with the Trey Young assists at 10.5. The leader in assists. I think he's leading the league right now. Potential assists over the last 5 games, last 10 games, shit like that. So love Trey Young assists tonight. I also took the Memphis Grizzlies first half team total over 61.5. You look at Utah right now, and you was just talking about it with somebody. They not looking to play no defense, and they not looking to win. Love Memphis tonight in the first half. I wanted to take the full game team total, but that full game is 125.5, 126.5, something like that. I don't like them to score that many points, full game. So I took the first half, a little bit of a better bet for me. Like the budget that I'm getting as well. Let's see. And I took the Denver team total over 118.5. I got on that one early this morning, and he was just talking about it. I don't remember who it was that was up, but Dallas looking to do something, and it ain't getting stopped. We're not looking to stop nobody. Kyrie not looking to stop nobody. Only person they really got that's really looking to play defense is JaVale McGee, and his minutes is empty. So we know what Denver does offensively. I would love if Jamal Murray plays tonight, but I like this play with or without him. If we look at Dallas defensively last 3 or 4 games with Kyrie and it's 120 a game. So just really don't like the spot for Dallas. Like you said, if Dallas wins, it's not going to be because of their defense. I think they've accepted that when they traded Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie, who's 2 of their better defenders. And Spencer Dinwiddie is not a great defender himself. So of that Denver team total, but yeah, man, I don't have a whole lot of plays, man. Everything I did tonight was for a half unit as opposed to a whole unit. Just with the NBA going the way it's been going, I don't know what people's motivation is. So kept it a little light tonight. I think I got about 5 or 6 plays in total. A couple of plays I watered down and just added something to it to get some decent odds as well. So did that a couple times. So yeah, man, that's all I'm on tonight, bro. Not a whole lot of plays for me. I'll make a little money over the weekend, betting 3-point contest, shit like that. But not a lot to love tonight, even though it is an 11-game slate.
Right. Yeah. Nothing wrong with.
That's it for me, bro.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with taking it easy tonight, Vaughn. Nothing wrong with taking it easy tonight, bro. We ain't gonna get rich in one night, man. We ain't gonna, break the bank in one night either. So, really, really, really important to stay, stick to your unit size. Don't overindulge in it, in a night like tonight, because we're gonna definitely have, more nights where we can make way more money than we make just in one day. So I like the Memphis look, Vaughn. One thing I was looking at real quick while you was talking, Vaughn, was, and if you guys are looking on YouTube, I got it pulled up. I looked at the Jazz when they're road dogs this year. So this actual calendar year, 2023, 3-2 against the spread, only 2-3 straight up. They're giving up 125 points per game in this spot. And I know you talked about that first half, Vaughn. Looked like they're giving up 62.6 points in the first half, which is good money for your first half over team total for Memphis. And I think they should be able to get there. You look at some of these teams that they played against, the Grizzlies one time already in this spot, the Timberwolves, both of those teams hit them for 123 or more. The Blazers hit them for 134. The Raptors, who aren't the greatest scoring team, hit them for 116. And then the Knicks also got them for 126. So, and I think you look at the spot, the Grizzlies aren't in the greatest. I'm sorry, the Jazz aren't in the greatest spot. just as far as travel. I think this is a fourth game in 6 nights and a third game in 5 nights as well. So I like that, man. I think the Memphis Grizzlies first half or team total or the first half spread are definitely in play tonight. But it's gonna be indicative of, you know, if Lauri Markkanen plays in this game, because the totals I think are gonna shoot up just a tad bit. The line gonna go up as well. But I like the looks, Vaughn. I couldn't talk anybody off that Denver team total over the 118.5 as well, Vaughn. I like the looks, bro. I hope you cash them tonight.
Yes, sir. Hey, I got one more I'm looking at too. Michael Porter Jr. under on his assists. I don't know what his line will be at. I've been looking for it on multiple books. But I know recently you've been pulling shit up on StatMuse. If you pull up that joint, I think he's had over 3 assists maybe one time in like the last 25 games. So I don't know what his assist line is because I don't see it on any books, but I'm definitely looking to take an under on that.
Hey, yo, he's another black hole when it comes to passing him the ball. You're not catching it back.
I watched it. So I've been playing this recently on my own. You've been talking about it. People don't like taking unders. This shit has been cashing. And I seen a video today where, like you said, once it gets to him, it's not going nowhere. And he's never making an extra pass. You know that give up the good shot for a great shot? Not for him. When they get to him, it's going up. So I'm rolling with that under on his assists once that line comes out. But yeah, man, that's all I'm on.
Who under assist was that, Vaughn?
Michael Porter Jr.
MPJ. Okay, MPJ.
Yeah, pull it up on StatMuse when you get a chance to just take a look.
Okay, all right, bet. Yeah, no, okay. I'll definitely look into that as well. I think it was a lot of dope looks, man. Shout out to my guy NBA Props as well. He dropped the link over in my DM and wanted to give out a play. He got, if you guys are looking on Twitter, you guys can see this. He got Halliburton. It's a little 2-leg parlay. He got Halliburton, 3-leg parlay. He got Halliburton 7 assists, which we know that's extremely doable. Bulls, you know, struggle against guards as well. With 1 steal and then Ben Mathurin to score 14 points. It's a plus 105. It looks like this is on DraftKings based on the layout of the. No, I'm sorry. It looks like it actually. Yeah, I think it is on DraftKings. Maybe it's the light layout. So, yeah, if you guys can parlay, I think it's a solid look as well from NBA Props. Like I said, Halliburton 7 assists, Benedict Mathurin 14 points, and Halliburton 1 steal is a plus 105. Little nice same game parlay there as well. But yeah, I think I appreciate y'all, man. I like I said, I always forget to shout out the speakers. This show was about to be 20 minutes. If y'all was just gonna rely on me, y'all was just gonna be watching me do some SDQL stuff. But because I didn't have a lot of looks, I don't want to play, you know, a lot. I'm wagering, you know, pretty nice unit sizes over here. So I'm not trying to play just anything. I'm trying to cash. And that's not to say, you know, anybody else isn't as either, but I'm really trying to win. Like I'm trying to get up to, you know, 70% hit rate. Like I feel like I was at last year throughout a large majority of the second half of the season. So not trying to gamble as much, more, you know, trying to, you know, find these plays that I really, really absolutely love. And the one that I found that I loved today was that San Antonio Spurs and the Charlotte Hornets to go under the 243.5. Game starts in about 30 minutes. And then I also, like I said,
Rozier's out too. He got ruled out too.
He did get ruled out. Okay, so that total is probably gonna go back down just a tad bit. Let's see what it went to. I appreciate you letting me know that, Boogie. So total in that game is down to. It actually went back up. It went up to 243.5. So it actually went back up with Rozier being out, which is interesting. I think Charlotte can struggle to score without Rozier because he means so much to that offense, but we'll see what happens. That's the play that I like the most, though. I don't think San Antonio gets to their team total. I also think Charlotte doesn't get to their team total either. But either way, I think one of these teams struggle to score, if not both. And I think we see this game go under. That's my favorite play today. Also, like I talked about the Nets in Atlanta, just because the Knicks been playing, you know, better defense, and because Atlanta gave up 144 points to Charlotte. That I think that game goes. I think they come out with something, at least in the first half, is where I would be looking. I think it was 118 when I looked at it earlier. The Knicks in Atlanta to go under as well. I don't really want to get involved.
I don't know if you said it, but I think John Collins just ruled in too.
He did get ruled in. That's even better. That's even better for the end. I know he was a game time decision. I just feel like I said, defense is an effort thing, man. And I think these guys come out here and play with effort, at least in the first half, before it kind of gets out of hand. But I trust the Knicks defense, even on the road. I do. They've shown that they can, guard Brunson. Even, it's an effort thing with Brunson with him being so small. But I feel like it'll be a defensive game at least to start. So I like the under there as well. And there was a lot of other things that I like as well, but I'm not gonna give you guys a whole bunch of leans. Because I'm not actually gonna put my money on them. So I think it was some great looks gave out. If you join late, it's about 15 minutes. You can go back and kind of listen to the breakdown of everybody else. Always appreciate you guys for joining. All like far as like the listeners. Sometimes it's 300, sometimes it's 500, sometimes 150 people listening on Twitter. I'm sorry, 150 people listening on YouTube. But I appreciate all the support, man. I also appreciate people that make the show better, right? Like I said, when I got into doing this, I just was sharing my looks, and that was about it. But guys like Bookie, guys like Dream, guys like RC, when he has the chance, Vaughn, YBB, NBA props, everybody that comes up. I see LJ in here. I ain't even hear from him today. But guys like that make the show better. We all trying to cash together. We all trying to win. And I don't mind taking an hour and a half out of my day to try to bring the community together. So I just ask that you guys hit the like button for me. Help me to grow. No idea where this is going to go to, but I'm going to keep doing it because I really enjoy making money off the NBA. So appreciate you guys as always, man. I'll be back tomorrow to break down the small card that we have in the morning and get some early looks. Best of luck to you guys tonight. Remember, don't overindulge tonight, man. We don't know the motivation of these teams and these players. 1, 2, 3 Cancun is going to be in full effect really, really soon. I know y'all probably remember that saying from last year if you've been rocking with me for that long. But 1, 2, 3 Cancun is definitely in full effect for some of these teams tonight. And after the All-Star break, we're gonna see a lot of it. And we're gonna get on the train and start fading some of these teams and making some of the easier money that we probably gonna make this year. So that's what I got for you guys, man. Best of luck on all your bets. I am out for tonight. Back tomorrow.